Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho, and tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading for the month of January for the Earth signs. Earth, it covers the zodiac signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So if you're Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or have Earth high up in your chart, this message is for you. If you've never had your charts read, it's kind of a fun thing just to kind of see. There's a link in the description for a natal chart through Llewellyn. It's not sponsored, but it makes it easier to find one that you can actually use. It gives you your 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols, and then there's 10 to 20 pages of what all that means. And in there is a section on your elemental alignment, which is pretty fascinating. So with that, we'll get started. We're going to start with the I-ching, and I cast the hexagram before we started the reading. So, Earth, you have hexagram number 2, which is the passive principle. The passive principle, sublime success. Things are looking good, Earth. Its omen is a mare. It's symbolizing advantage. The superior man or woman has an objective and sets forth to gain it. At first he goes astray, but later finds his bearings. It is advantageous to gain friends in the west and in the south, but friends in the east and north will be lost. Peaceful and righteous persistence brings good fortune. So basically, where we're starting off here, we'll get into the line breakdown here in a second, but it's saying you don't have to be aggressive, you don't have to go out there and lead the charge this month. It's really saying really get tapped into the more quiet aspects of life, build that foundation, and you don't have to go quick. It's saying it's actually better if you move kind of slow this month, getting things put into the right place. And there is this energy here as it first goes astray, later finds his bearings. There might be some missteps that occur this month. What it's saying here in the base text is don't let those stop you from moving forward, because the forward momentum is really what's going to carry you forward. So our foundation line down here on the bottom, hoarfrost underfoot betokens the coming of solid ice. So if you're someone who's been in the north where it's cold as all get out, the hoarfrost is this beautiful white. It's usually when it's a little bit more misty, foggy, high humidity, and it's this thick frost all over everything. Turns your trees white, turns your car, just coats your car in unbelievable snow crystals. But what it's saying is this broken betokens the coming of solid ice. Winter's coming. Things are slowing down. You don't need to stress over, well, I have to harvest, I have to do this, I have to do that. When hoarfrost hits, that's all done. But it also says that everything's going to become more solid. Even the liquid is going to become more solid. So this is a preparation for the future is what's coming up here. So our second place line is straight and broad of capacity, though we do nothing, our affairs prosper. This is saying you've got a lot of skills and talents, Earth. You're not a one-trick pony. Even if you think you are, that's not exactly true. And it's also saying that though you do nothing, all our affairs prosper. This is saying just stay true to your own core values. Stay true to the righteous path. The righteous path is not religious in that aspect. It's talking about your morals, your values, the ethics, the things that hold you true, that you also are connecting in with God's source on. And so straight and broad of capacity, meaning you've got a lot of things you can do. You tend to do one at a time because that's where Earth is. But we do nothing and affairs prosper. So you don't have to work excessively hard. Stay focused, keep working, but it doesn't mean you have to go out there and do all this new stuff. Our third place line, concealment of a talent or beauty constitutes the right course. As to the undertaking of public affairs, though immediate success may not be achieved, their ultimate fruition is assured. So you don't want to go bragging about the things that you know how to do, Earth, or showing off how talented you are, because it's saying concealment is the right course. So you don't want to push everything out to the front. If people see it, that's fine, they see it. But you don't want to be the one out there championing it and jumping from the rooftops that you're the best carpenter in the world or you're the best painter in the world. There's always someone better, first of all. And second of all, that's not going to be beneficial in the long term. And then it says, as to the undertaking of public affairs, when you're boisterous and loud in the beginning and you're talking yourself up like everyone's going to be going there, its immediate success may not be achieved. Ultimate fruition is assured. If you get too loud in the beginning, you may not succeed. That's why you just want to make sure that you're keeping things back and you're building upon your reputation. Your reputation is what other people think of you. So if you're staying quiet and allowing that to build, you're going to achieve what you want, and it might just take a little bit of a different path than what you originally intended. But overall, you're having a pretty good month from the I-ching here. Our 4th place line, taciturnity, no blame, and no praise. So basically it's saying that things are changing and shifting, and it doesn't really matter what direction you're going, because you've set yourself up at this point, Earth, that things are coming in. And it also says that in the positive side, you're going to be able to achieve a great deal with the least amount of in-the-moment work. You've already done all the hard work. Now it's time for your work to speak for itself. That's why you don't have to do the active part. That's why everyone else, your reputation that has been built, is going to be steering the ship. And it's not really steering, it's more of like acknowledging that the ship exists. So you are really doing well. It's not that you have to keep pushing and being really aggressive about it, because everything else is falling into place. Our 5th place line, a yellow jacket, sublime good fortune. Yellow is seen as virtuous in a lot of these texts. And so a yellow jacket, meaning you put on the moral compass, you put on the ethical codes, your personal code of values and conduct, and that means that you have stayed true because you wear them. Everyone sees that you stick true to your word. If you say this is what you're going to do, you do it. If you say you're going to follow through on something, you do. It's one of those things where you're staying so honest with yourself, other people are aware of it now. And that's where the sublime good fortune, meaning it just keeps coming. It's not going to stop because you stick true to your values. People appreciate honesty and truth, and that's what this is talking about, Earth. So you're doing really, this month is just looking really good for you overall. Your capstone here, the top line, dragons contending in the wilderness, and wilderness shed black and yellow blood. That's not sounding pleasant. What do we have underneath here? When the passive dark force seeks to vie with the creative light, the lack of which is bitterly regretted, the struggle is inevitable. So you want to make sure that you're not ignoring the dark side of who you are. Like if you have shadow work or something like that, you don't want to push that back. Don't keep building your shadow. This is one of those things where it's saying bring that stuff into the light. That way it can be healed and dealt with. It's not saying that things are bad. It's really wanting you to understand that this is one of those situations where everything's going well for you. Everything's lining up in the best way possible. You're not having to do a lot of active work, but you also don't want to let the ego, the darker aspects, those secret sins, if you want to call them that, to come to the surface unannounced. That's why you want to make sure you're still processing that, and that's where the dragons contending in the wilderness, this is stuff that's going on behind the scenes, this is going on inside you, shed black and yellow blood. The black is the dark. You want to make sure you're cleaning this up so the wound doesn't fester. Anything you put in your shadow is a skill, a talent, or a belief that someone else generally has told you is wrong, so you've repressed it. When they start coming to the surface, they will raise unholy things in your life if you're not willing to acknowledge them. This is all part of who you are. Your higher self and your shadow are all who you are. So when you start to process those out, and you maybe go to a counselor, maybe go to a spiritual guide of some form, when you do this, it allows you to actually heal. And then they don't shed the blood as rapidly or as frequently because you're in a better headspace, you're in a better heart space. And so your I-ching for this month is saying, outwardly, Earth, You don't have to do a lot of extra. That's not your mission this month. But what it is saying, you might have to do some inner work to keep things going in the right direction. Your reputation, Earth, looks amazing. So keep up the inner work, because that's going to continue to increase your reputation and your inner light to shine, which is a very positive thing, very powerful thing. And right now I'm getting this impression, Earth, this month is going to be your time to shine in the most subtle way possible. So have fun with things as they play out. Now we'll hop into our cards. Like, comment, and subscribe. If this is something you're new to, let me know in the comments. And if you see something different with the cards, because I read intuitively, feel free to drop that in the comments. It's always interesting to hear how other people interpret the cards as well. And who knows, you might be helping somebody with your vision that came through. So I read week by week. There's about 4.5 weeks in January, so we'll do a 5 set. Each week we look at a guide or guardian, and I'm using a really cool dragon deck for that. Then we'll look at the message from Source, which is the Healing Waters Oracle for this month. And then we'll also look at a little more clarification from the tarot, so we kind of get an overview of how these weeks go. I read 1, 2, 3, 4 through the month. If they happen to fall different for you, it's because the universe has got their own sense of humor. So take what works, leave the rest, and we'll get started here. Speaking of that, your first week's guide or guardian is number 15 with the Dragons of Destiny. Earth, this month is really going to be setting you up for the year. These are the things that you have put into place, and things are falling into place. Just like the I-ching said, this month is not you have to do the work. Everything's lined up, the ball's rolling, now destiny takes over. So this is the reminder that as you go through this month, these are things that are basically already destined. You have written your future, and so now it's time to embrace the future that you created. And if you're kind of new to the manifestation, so you're not sure how the creation's going to work, this is your opportunity to really get clear on what you want the year to be. Now, is it going to be exactly that? Probably not, because we're human. But does it mean that you won't be able to achieve goals, dreams, and ambitions? No. But if you sit down and you actually start to do this baseline work, those dreams will start to manifest quicker. You'll start to understand destiny is really you write the script, then follow the steps. And that's what they're wanting you to understand in this first week of January, is what you do this month, Earth, is going to set you up for the year. And that's why it's more of a passive month outwardly. But inwardly, there's still some things that need to be processed. So take the time to do some journaling and really get to know yourself at a deeper level is what I'm hearing. So your message from Source is the Sacred Well, replenishment, self-love, giving from a place of plenty. When we look at the Sacred Well, this is the spring of life, the chalice of Christ, if you will. And this is where we get this energy of creation. We get this ability to heal from our past, to heal our physical in the moment. Sometimes it's your spiritual that needs to be healed. And when we take the time to tap into this higher frequency, when we take the time to really embrace what is being offered from the divine, from God, from Source, your angels, your guides, however you see this, when we take the time to take care of ourselves and open up to that communication, the Sacred Well opens up as well, and it really pours out the blessing upon you. In some ways, you'll maybe consciously aware of something shifting or changing. Sometimes you get goosebumps. Sometimes you get those little tingles up your spine. Sometimes a specific part of your body will warm up, something that maybe you've had issues with in the past. Other times, it may be way more subtle, where it's working with your subconscious mind and helping you process through things and anchor lessons into your form. So don't expect it to be exactly like someone else's experience, but embrace that shift, because self-care, when we tie that in with the destiny aspect, the destiny is saying you don't have to worry about it because it's coming one way or another. The self-care is saying now slow down and allow yourself to enjoy what you've created. Your message from the tarot is the 10 of Ariel. There is so much to be grateful for: financial success, the promise of retirement, a rich and rewarding family life. This would be the 10 of coins in the traditional tarot, or 10 of pentacles. So this is saying you're in this beautiful aligned energy. This month is going to be the reminder of the outward work reflects to the inward, and the inward work amplifies the outward. And they're saying this is your time to really embrace it. This first week is reminding you you've already done all the hard stuff outwardly. So you don't have to keep struggling. You don't have to keep, well, I have to do these 12 more things. No, you need to do one more thing. And then you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself, eating healthy, doing the exercises, the meditations, the prayers, all of those things. And it may sound like a lot, but when you really start to connect in with divine, those prayers become a conversation. It's not like I have to block out 30 minutes. No, you don't. Do it in your shower as you're driving to work, and allow yourself to get their messages. And this 10 of Ariel is saying your success is pretty much, I don't want to use the word guaranteed because that's not quite right, because nothing's guaranteed in life, but your success is definitely destined at this point. You've done enough of the work that the universe has kicked in, and now it's like you've got that momentum going forward. So this first week is really saying, prepare yourself. Things are going to be moving. You don't have to do a lot of the active part, but definitely take care of yourself, because that's your job this month. For Earth in January is you take care of you, the universe will take care of the rest. And your second week's guide or guardian is the number 2 dragon in this deck. It is the Harmony Dragon. When you come into a peaceful state, is what I'm hearing. This is where you get to align with the deeper parts of who you are. When you are in harmony with the higher self and the shadow, when you walk the balance between the two and keep them both healing, growing, and expanding, you integrate that into a beautiful song. It's your song. No one else can sing it. And when you do this, it allows you to be the best possible version of yourself. The Harmony Dragons are coming in the second week to say, let's find the perfect note. Let's build this song, this symphony of Earth, and make it yours. Don't worry about what other people's noise is. That's their noise. You make your song. You get into harmony with yourself, with your spouse if you are in a relationship. If you're single, get in harmony with your environment. Do the housework. Do the things that make the house pretty, because when your outside of your shell is working well, the inside will match it. So you want to get these two things in alignment, because it's going to be really beneficial. But the Harmony Dragons are saying it doesn't have to be perfect. It never will be. But let's get started. Your message from Source is King Tide, plenty, prosperity, receiving the fullness of life. Open your heart to the creation that you've started. The tidal wave, King Tide, is bringing in this wave of momentum. That's why the Destiny Angels are coming in. That's why the I-ching was saying, you don't have to work hard this month. You've already put the hard work in. Now it's time to keep doing the next steps, but let the universe help carry your momentum forward. When this kind of energy is coming up, when you think of a tidal wave, nothing stops that. Nothing stops that. So when you think about it, this is an energy that you've built, and now you've got the momentum to really push this through, whatever creation that is, whether it is planning that family, getting started on the family, proposing to that person, things are lining up, or if it's that business idea you wanted to start. This is your moment to shine, because you've already put the pre-work in. Now it's time for the universe to match you. You had to get into the headspace of, this is mine, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm creating it. Because when you're lined up with your higher self, capital W will, and you're putting in the effort in the physical, you build momentum, and then it takes over. That's what this second week is about. Get into that harmonious state with your higher self, your shadow. Get everything lined up internally, and watch the magic happen outside. Your message from the tarot is number 15, decisions. I believe this is the Devil card in traditional tarot. Release yourself from that which holds you back and need to detox unnecessary worry based on lack of self-confidence. Earth, don't doubt yourself. You've already done all the pre-work. You know you have these skills and talents. The I-ching talks about it. Don't brag about them, but you know you have them. Acknowledge that part. The decision is yours to move forward. Release the light within. Release your need to dominate or control the situation, because the universe has your back. Why are you trying to steer the ship? Let the universe deal with that. You keep doing the next steps because you've already put in all the effort. This is the compensation. This is the balance of powers. We start the ball. We get things moving in the right direction because we have to usually go through our own stuff before the universe can. They're waiting. God's source is always waiting, being like, do they really want this? Because I'm getting mixed signals. You've already made the signals. You've already gotten things lined up. Focus on that. Let the decision to, I trust you, God. I trust you, source. Let's do this. Let that be your clarion call for the month of January, especially the second week. Let's take a peek here at our third week's guide or guardian and see who comes up. And we have number 16, Grace. The angels, yeah, could be seen that way. Angels or dragons of grace. This is your call to show yourself grace. The second week was getting into harmony. And then you might realize, wait, am I doing the right thing? Show yourself grace. Just like with the I-ching, there's this part of the month where you might wander off path for a second. That's all right. It's life. It's what we do. And this third week is saying this middle of the month could be when this path gets a little shady, gets a little shaky. But that is also when you get to really embrace that divine guidance. When you're showing grace to yourself and you're showing grace to others, you're forgiving mess ups, you're working through stuff. If you have to retrain someone at work, you're doing that. Whatever it is, when you're showing that grace, the grace is also being shown to you. Yeah, you might have stepped off the path. You may have missed a step in the goal and tripped. That's all right. That's how we live. And the energy that's coming in this third week, before we even get to the rest of the cards, is really gentle. It's wanting you to understand, beloved Earth, there is nothing that you can do right now that is going to be shameful or wrong unless it is to stop off of the path completely. As long as you are willing to step into that light, you're stepping into that grace period, and you understand we all make mistakes. This is where you get to move into light. This is where you get to understand the compassion and the love that Source has. When you accept and embrace this energy, this is where you shine strongest. So take this third week to remind yourself that we're not perfect. We all have things to grow. We all have things to do better. And that's okay, because it means you're still human and you're still here. Your message from Source. Interesting when the guides come in, because then you feel tingles for like 20 minutes after that. Your message from Source is ride the waves, life lessons and growth. You will get through this. You could not make this up if you tried. Grace wants you to understand you're human. Accept your faults, accept your greatness, and move forward with that, knowing that humor is part of life. When we ride the waves of life, there's ups and downs. That's what they want you to understand. Yes, there's going to be days where you're at the top and you're riding that thing, you're cheering it on. Yes, I've got this. And then you may have the next day crash out where you're like, what am I doing? And that's where that Grace Dragon comes in. When you're having those highs, she's with you. When you're having those lows, she's still with you. And this is also where God's Source comes in to say, you are doing great. We're going to have ups and downs. That's part of existing in this human life. It's knowing how to navigate those spikes in emotion and the crashes that come with it sometimes that makes us step out of the everyday mundane and step into our more spiritual path. And that's what they're wanting to bring up this third week, really, is take the time to really embrace your faults, your flaws, and look at them as forms of humor. Oh man, can't believe I did that again type of a thing. But it's all right. You'll get better. That's what we're here to learn. That's what you're doing, is you're learning. You didn't run before you could walk. You didn't decorate the most beautiful wedding cake before you learned to, I don't know, make frosting. Everything has to happen in a set point. So if you have a hiccup in this third week, it's because there might be something that's just not quite lined up perfectly, but that's okay because you still get to make the decisions and shift things later. So be gentle with yourself. And then you have the Empress coming in, which is divine feminine energy, a goddess energy with Archangel Gabriel. And this is how I see Gabriel is a feminine angel. Time to act upon your plans. Creativity is rewarded. Luxurious or abundant resources. The Empress is the divine feminine, the ultimate supporting powerhouse. Without her, the Emperor can do nothing, literally. And without him, she's not protected to be the supporter. You have the balance of powers. The Empress is wanting to say, good luck. Everything is lined up. Everything is going well. This is where you get to make the physical actions occur. The universe is doing a lot of this work already. Now you get to see it in action. And this is where you see those ups and downs and how they've played out in your life, Earth. It's not just been, oh, well, I needed to learn this lesson. Sometimes you were told to pause so that the universe could say, hey, look at this. We got this going. Check out what's happening. And this one I'm feeling a lot more strongly towards like a personal thing. Like you got all nervous and you got all excited and you went to propose to that person and then you stumbled over your words and you got embarrassed. That person thought that was the best thing that they've ever had. You may have just asked them out on a date and you stumbled over your words and felt like a goober, but they thought it was the most attractive, adorable thing. I don't care what gender you are, that's how this person came across it. And the Empress is saying, see, even in our mistakes, success can be granted. And that's what this third week is saying. When you're showing yourself that grace, when you're riding those waves up and down, the Empress is like, do not worry about the little things. It will all pan out. Even mistakes can sometimes become the most powerful rewards down the road. So embrace the non-perfection in life this third week. Your fourth week has the number 33, which is the Hern Dragon. This one always comes across as very mysterious, very unknown. There's things that are hidden in the trees, in the forest, so to speak, but there's a lot of wisdom and knowledge there. So this is probably where we're getting into that shadow energy work, just like with the I-ching that's come forward. Really focus on what's going on inside. That third week was showing yourself grace and understanding because this was the week that's coming after. There's a lot of positivity here. You have the number 33. It's a power number. There's also a lot of mystery as well. And if you know anything about the occult and some of the other mystery practices, 33 has got a lot of mystery with it. And that's what they're wanting you to understand is it's not just one aspect of life. The I-ching talks about don't think that you're just a one-trick pony, that you only have one thing. And that's what Hern wants you to understand is you're mysterious in a lot of ways because you've learned so much. Other people don't have a clue, Earth, how far you've come and what you've learned. And even if you're starting your foot on the path right now, don't forget how much you've already learned. Business, love, relationships. It could be just in life in general because the school of life can be interesting some days. You don't have to worry about that. But you also don't want to show all of your cards. So you want to keep some of those things to yourself, keep that air of mystery going. And that's the energy that's coming up here this fourth week is remember, just because they think they need to know, they don't always need to know. Keep the mystery, keep the mystique, and that allows you to be able to move much more gracefully in the world without having to tell everyone everything. Your message from Source is the Healing Lagoon. Rejuvenate, recover, time to heal. It is safe to stop. The energy that comes up with Hern is that mysterious woodland creature where they don't run around and cause chaos and do all this. And that could be what this Healing Lagoon is also bringing up. Take the time to be at peace. Take the time to be at one with the divine message, with the divine quietness. Take a bath, especially this fourth week of January. Take an Epsom salt bath. Put in some, special herbs and oils, whatever. Light some candles. Play the calming music. Allow yourself the gift of self-care. And when you do that, allow the dark, the kind of sticky energy that comes up when we do shadow work. Sometimes there's stuff that gets stirred up that is very unpleasant. But when that does, allow it to be washed out with the dirty bath water. Don't keep it with you. Allow yourself that gentility of cleanliness through a spiritual practice. And know that when you release that stuff, it's not yours anymore. You've given it up, which is great. You keep the lesson because that is part of who you are, but you don't have to carry the energy with it, the guilt, the shame, whatever it is. Let it go, and then you can laugh at it. When you look back at me like, wow, I used to think like that? Okay. But it allows you freedom because that thing has no more control over you. And that's that healing lagoon, that healing water energy, is to wash that stuff away so you can be free of it. Then you can just sit back and be like, I don't need that anymore, and you can walk away. That's interesting. Your message from the tarot, you had the Death card, and now you have the Devil card. Number 13. Interesting. But in this deck, it's the energy of peace with Archangel Azrael. This deck is kind of interesting because it changes everything to very, very positive. Releasing the past, there is a more enriching future coming. Let go, let God. When we think about this card, the Devil is the contrarian. It's not about fighting and the evil aspect. What I'm getting with this is you've had this message going through this month. Remember your strengths, remember your grace, release that which you does not serve. The Empress is coming in to say, you have all this power and ability, you have all this luck lined up, let's do this and create. And then we have this one coming in saying, it's not always needing to be busy. The world is actually not as negative as the mainstream news would tell you, or actually the news in general, we'll just call it that. There's a lot more beauty here. There's peace in stillness. This fourth week is really saying, remember the mystery. Remember the power that lives within. And you may not even realize that it's there yet. That's fine. Most of us don't until we start waking things up. And when you do, you start understanding you don't have to do it all. But you can be very peaceful and happy where you're at. Because you know there's a future, you know you have a say in the future, and you know that you have this ability to continue to grow. Mind you, the other aspect that comes up with this right now, there are going to be people who push against what you're saying, what you're thinking, how you're doing it. That's where that Hearn is saying, keep some of this back. You don't tell everybody. Because when they push against you as steel sharpens steel, you get more clear. You get more clear on what it is you want to create. When you're having those doubts, those I don't knows, I'm nervous, and you have your friends are good for this, especially your close friends. They'll come up and be like, why are you worried about that job? Are you really that fill in the blank adjective? And you'll be like, no, I'm not worried about it. I'm doing this and this and this. And they're like, that's what I'm saying. Why are you worried about it? Because you already are doing all the work. They're sharpening your awareness. Now, they can be toads as well and be little monsters, but a lot of the times the people who are closest to you can see a pattern forming that you're not paying attention to because the devil's in the details. And that's what they're saying this month is don't worry about all that stuff. You don't have to be the one driving the ship, the boat, the truck, whatever it is. You have already put everything in place. The universe is doing that. Take the step that's in front of you and just don't worry about the rest. So, our final week, this is a perfect way to wrap this week up, or this month up, is number 6, the Dragons of Confidence. This month has been about your growth, Earth. This is about your expansion, your understanding that you actually do get a say in your life. You're the one who's set everything up. The universe played this month out to show you that, see what happens when we work in unison. You do the inner work, you get to take the next steps, you get things moving in the right direction, we can take the rest. Your work is the inner work, staying focused and staying calm, staying at peace, showing yourself grace, and moving forward in that state. The confidence is saying, I don't have to know everything this minute. I don't have to do everything this minute. But what I am going to do is I'm going to do the next step. And the universe is going to walk right next to you and say, let's do this together. But the confidence is showing that you get to step forward. You get to create this life. This month was a reminder of the entire last year's lessons, really. And that's a good thing, because you now have gained knowledge. You've gained insight. Let's put this into practice, Earth. Let's do this thing, whatever that is. I keep seeing business with you, so it might be a new business you're starting, or it could be that promotion you're requesting. Do so with confidence, not arrogance. Confidence. You know what you know. You also know that there's things you don't know. So when you walk in, you're able to say, this is what I know. This is how I can do this. There are some things I may need some help with here. What do you have to offer that will fill in those blanks? And when you're doing that, the other person is like, that's self-awareness. We like this. And that's going to work in your favor. It might be a little struggle along the way, but that will work in your favor. Your message from Source is the wishing well, unexpected gifts, kindness, and karmic jewels. So this is wrapping the month up saying, you've done the prep work. Look what's going on. Earth, what do you want next? Cast the wish into the wishing well. Cast this next intention to God Source Divine. Double check your vision boards. Make sure you got your affirmations right. Whatever it is, get things ready to move to the next level. You've achieved this level. Now it's time to see how far you want to go next. Because each time you plateau up, you take the next steps, and you get to this next, I've achieved all that I've wanted, you're going to see something else that you want. How are you going to get there? And how are you going to take those next steps? The wishing well is saying, you already know how to get things started, so start the next one. You've achieved this, what's next? And how far do you want to go? Your message from the tarot is the Page of Michael. Truthful, perceptive, analytical, and blunt. This could be interesting. An exciting new challenge. You have what it takes to succeed. Review contracts or documents thoroughly. Just because you get the promotion doesn't mean you want to sign immediately. You want to read through it, make sure everything's lined up. Who knows what they might try to sneak in there? That's why you want to be truthful. And that's why you also want to tap into your inner vision. This month has shown you that you can do this, and you're connecting in this way. Perception and intuition are like cousins. You want to make sure both of them are tuned up. And analytical, blunt. You don't want to be too blunt, but you also don't want to be a doormat. The Page of Michael is coming in saying, could be part of your next lesson, is to be more assertive. This last week is showing you to stand in your confidence, to get ready to plan for the next level and make those decisions to start heading that direction now. And the Page of Michael is saying, now you get to understand everything that you've done so far, and now you got to make the decision as to where you're going next. And how much are you willing to put into that? Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to, keep up the current level, and I'll make a minor adjustment here and there? But these are all things that you get to make the decision of. And Earth, I'm hearing you need to be honest with yourself as you're doing this. Don't just say yes because you think other people want it. No one cares about them. I mean, they do, but you're worried about your situation here, and that's where it's better for you to stay focused on that. So with that, Earth, you have an awesome month. There's going to be a couple ups and downs, and there's a little inner work going on. But overall, there's energy of momentum for you. There's this energy of creation. Things that you've already put into play, manifestation is going to follow. And at the end of the month, there is this call to action. Where do you go next? What do you want to do next? You've achieved, you've overcome, you understand how life works a little bit better this month. Where are you going next? So with that, I will let you guys and gals go. I'll see you in the next video, and have a great month of January.